Well, hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Great. Awesome. Okay, I wanted to reaction. My name is Ali Modares. I have the privilege of serving as the Dean of the School of Urban Studies. Welcome to the award and recognition ceremony. For us, this is an important month and time of the year. The number one reason is that a lot of the activities that happen during May and June connects with the accomplishments of our students, graduation, award sessions, and also for you to know that you are completing something and accomplishing something that you have worked very hard on. So with that, I need to tell you that this is also the time that energizes us as faculty members. This is the time that we understand the value of the work, and we celebrate your achievements by knowing that it also teaches us a lot. Every student that has gone through School of Urban Studies has contributed to our knowledge. It is not a one-way trip, it's in both ways. We think of our school as a co-learning space, so I'm glad that you experienced it. And I hope for those of you who are graduating, and congratulations, I'll get to that one in a second, is to remember the school and remain connected with us as alumni. At this point, I want to recognize somebody who is in the audience, who is a graduate of our program, Mr. Chris Saw. If I could just get you to wave there. He is not only a graduate of our program, but also on the Community Advisory Board for the School of Urban Studies. We have benefited from his passion and knowledge the whole time that he was a student here, but also continuing on the board. That essentially means that I'm asking you to stay connected with us for those of you who are graduating. And for those who are not, we'll look forward to continuing our work with you. So thank you for being here. Again, this is really celebrating you and celebrating what you have done, but I want to congratulate our faculty members and staff who are here. It is their hard work that also translates to the work that gets accomplished. I want to make sure that we acknowledge that as well. So with that, I will ask just a wave of hand, because I will formally do that at the end. I want to see who all are graduating this June or this August. Yeah, you can raise your hands. Congratulations. Congratulations. Well, we get the program underway because I know some students need to get back to their classes because we're still not done. So our first award is the Dean's Award for Service to the Community, and Dr. Ann Toffin and Dr. Jim Thatcher are presenting that. Could I invite you to come to the front?
Thank you, Ali. And it's really nice to see people. Dr. Thatcher and I both have some words prepared for the recipients of this award. I have to say, I missed this event last year. I had COVID, and it is so nice to be recovering. I think it is going to take us all a little bit of time to kind of find that routine and rhythm for these year-end events. And it's really, maybe the beautiful weather outside is part of why many of us are feeling the excitement of lots of different things happening right now. I think you're first. Oh, no, okay. So, thank you. The Dean's Award for Service to the Community. We have two recipients of this award this year, and I have the great pleasure of presenting to Mo Niang. Mo is a student in the Master's in Community Planning program and about to graduate with his MACP this spring. Mo came to us from Gambia via Highline College and initially deferred his entrance to the MACP program because of the impacts of canceled instruction and institutional chaos caused by the pandemic. Wonderful global perspective that has enlightened so many different conversations in our classrooms and in the projects that we've done. And his work as a community housing advocate and an advocate on children's homelessness is already placing him amongst the practitioners who embody the value of the community planning program. He is a services activist in South King County, And his great presence and commitment to the values of the program include things like showing up to support colleagues at the Tacoma Community House as they're all preparing for their studio presentation on the Nettie Asbury House, and housing research study that's being conducted currently through the UW-Seattle Sociology Department. I can also tell you a little bit about Mo's work updating Sherry Arnstein's ladder of citizen participation and the great way that he brings his his perspective to the research and applied classroom work that he does. And this also not only represents and builds the School of Urban Studies, but it also inspires and informs all of the people around him who are fortunate enough to spend time with him. So Mo, for your great service in representing our school and our program and your presence in the community, I applaud your accomplishments. It's my pleasure to award you with this certificate, and I invite everybody to join me in congratulating Mo.
I have the pleasure of presenting to a student that couldn't make it tonight, but in the spirit of sort of celebrating his actual accomplishments over the longer term, I'd like to say a few words about Dalen Gates. So I've known Dalen since before this program. Sometime last summer, he came and worked on a research project that I oversee, and he was just a phenomenal, rock-solid, supportive, incredible student there that, you know, really brought that community together. And then he came and was a student here, and he did the same thing. It's just kind of in his nature. He's engaged with the community on multiple levels, right? Like his research is this his capstone project is this engaged project around bike safety and travel and, you know, the community of people who really love bikes, which he's a part of. I'm not. But the things that really stand out to me in the entire time that I've known him is that he's always checking in on others. You know, if we're doing a lab, he's always turning back and being like, hey, how are you doing? Do you understand this thing? He's striking up conversations. I think it's impossible to be around him and not be asked a couple questions about how your day is going and the like. And while that might be a small thing, that's part of how you build community, particularly in these kind of post-pandemic, post is in quotes there, moments. And he really goes out of his way to make sure that everyone in his cohort is on the same page. He's constantly out in the community, and it's just been a real pleasure to have him first as a research assistant and now as a student. So I'm gonna shake his imaginary hand and say congratulations to Dalen and give this award to one of his cohort who he asked to pick it up for him. But Dalen is not here. Don't be fooled by an imposter. And and next up is Professor Devon Woodard.
All right, I am Professor Woodard. I am presenting the MACP Merit Scholar Award. In the MACP, the Masters of Art and Community Planning, we strive to create urban spaces in which our community's current and future students and leaders can develop, expand, and enrich themselves and their capacities for community care and co-creation. Through a culture grounded in social justice, community investment, and equitable futures, our students are invited to think and act creatively and critically in the interest of just and sustainable communities. The MACP Merit Scholar Award was designed to identify the work of a first and second year cohort member, which exemplifies this ethos. The first work submitted was entitled Libraries as Liberation Hubs, address the holistic betterment of community members in Tacoma in filling the critical gaps for supportive spaces, safe spaces, access to resources, community support, and as places of food security. And that is Sophia Hoffaker.
We have a few words. words. Sophia.
At least it's going to start.
Okay. Anne actually, Dr. Toffin, worked with Sophia on that award-winning paper, and I had the pleasure of working with Sophia last year. And I was so impressed at how you, as I look at you, brought passion for equity and intellect into the classroom and everything that you did. The way that you reflected on your experiences with political organizing, with identity and community membership, and all the forms of power and politics that are at play in those kinds of practices. It was really such an amazing thing to see a student kind of work through all of that. She read everything thoroughly and critically. She was engaged. She asked questions. She always asked more of herself and her work. And then she has applied to PhD programs. So yes, you may go from a master's into a PhD program. And she's headed, she applied many places. She had a choice, which is amazing. And she's headed to the very competitive program at University of Michigan, and with a great package to support her in that process. So we really look forward to all of your future successes and having you as a colleague.
Thank you, Dr. Hoffman. And I think, have had the pleasure of getting to know different MACP students over the years, the last 5 years. And Sophia's work on this paper, Libraries as Co-Liberation Hubs, was really impressive and represents the kind of work that Sophia has brought to the program from the moment that she arrived. I can tell you that going back to discussion posts in the very first term and planning for equity, I almost always found a nugget of insight and wisdom in posts, which is one of the great gifts of being able to teach at this level. And I have no doubt that Sophia is going to thrive and contribute mightily to our field. And it was a pleasure to write recommendations for her. And I know that the program that fought for her at the University of Michigan and is supporting her very, I hope, in the work that she will bring to the field, is a testament to her great promise and the work that she's already accomplished. So we're so grateful that you were willing to spend a couple years with us here as you're getting your academic career up and off and running, and as an applied critical scholar. Congratulations.
And the second award for an organizational profile, I may be biased, written in my class, on the Family Support Center of South Sound and Pierre Blossom Place goes to Gia Valentine. Gia's paper exemplified the qualities that I look forward to her bringing to our class each week. Over the first 2 quarters, we teach 2 classes back to back. Gia has a very thoughtful and inquisitive nature. Her profile was an example of her ability to look at the 10,000-foot level and also get into the weeds of the work that the organization is doing and the change that it is creating in community. She was able to adeptly situate and connect this work with the heady discourses of housing, which we will all be facing in the coming century. And I look forward to giving this award to Ms. Gia Valentine. And the next award up, or presenters, are Jan and Dr. Detweiler, Director, and Modares.
I was like in 8th grade before I could say my own name. So, as Dr. Woodard just mentioned, it's our privilege to present together the faculty's awards for given to students, sometimes students, who demonstrate excellence in academic achievement and scholarship. And I do want to say Dean Medeiros. I was thinking about what you said earlier in your preliminary comments about what that means. Of course, it means they're doing amazing work in the classroom, but it makes you better as an instructor because you see how the material you're trying to get across is assembled. And you learn, especially from the best students that are doing that well. And so we have two students that we're very, very proud to brag about tonight. And I'll just go ahead and I'll reveal the first student, right? Do they know yet? Do we know that they know? Yeah, do they know? Is this like the Oscars? Is it? See, I'm not paying attention. All right, so Jennifer Hunt, who's here tonight, is our first recipient. And I'll say a few words about Jennifer, and then I'll turn it over to Ali to talk about our other recipient. As I mentioned just now, Jennifer, and I'll just speak to you directly, it has been my privilege to work with you in the fall and in the winter for 20 straight weeks in the foundational courses in urban studies, and one class I had never taught before. And that's an opportunity for me to learn as well. And again, Jennifer's work is excellent because it assembles and synthesizes not only the reading material and the discussions, and maybe even the odd boring lecture, in ways that are creative and efficient and inspiring, but also reflect a great deal of private reflection and contemplation. And that private reflection and contemplation doesn't happen in the classroom, and that's where I think my colleagues would agree. We really see the maturation and growth of this student. And it was just a joy, an absolute joy to read your work, Jennifer. And whatever you choose to do to stop with this program and to work and use those skills and that acuity in the professional workplace, or to go on, as we've been inspired by others here tonight to go on, we have great confidence, and we really look forward to learning about what you're going to be doing to make this world a better place. So congratulations, Jennifer, and come on up. And where's the award? Is it here? No? Yeah, there you go. Just one? There you go, Jennifer. We're going to take pictures. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Dierwechter. Well, I have the pleasure to introduce the second awardee. I have to start this way. I was away doing something else at the school, at the university, for about a year, and all I heard was this name, how amazing she is, and how she's contributing to the school so much. So before I even knew about who was going to be selected for this award, I knew about Kristen Bauer as being one of them achieving, but also giving and supporting individual in our school. Remarkable student, has made outstanding contributions as support staff, teaching assistant, and now a research assistant for the School of Urban Studies. Throughout her academic journey, she has demonstrated unparalleled dedication, creativity, and expertise in the field of urban design. And I want to talk about the creativity a little bit. Every Monday morning when I see the newsletter coming out, I know that what's going on in the world that we are in, but also in terms of the work of the urban design is something that also requires a lot of attention to the ability to move between things. And Kristen has shown quite a skill to move between different areas, not only being an invaluable asset to the School of Urban Studies, but also leaving a lasting impression and impact on the urban design degree and on the school itself. Graduating, of course, but your impact on the degree and on the school will not be forgotten. With that, I ask you to join me, and congratulations for receiving the award. Please join me in congratulating Kristen. Shake your hand. That's okay.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. If I could invite Dr. Dear Wechter again and Dr. Emma Slager for the Dean's Award of Service for service to the program.
I am presenting an award to Ayush Joshi, who's not able to join us tonight. But Ayush began his time here at UW-T just this year after an undergraduate degree at Lawrence University in Wisconsin. And despite his recent arrival, he has jumped into our community with both feet. In addition to his contributions to this year's cohort of MS and geospatial technology students, he is working as the GIS lab assistant, ensuring access to technical resources for our undergraduate geographic information systems students. And he's also serving as a senator in ASUW-T, which makes him the representative for graduate students and urban studies students in our campus's student government. So this award is for contributions to the community in SUS and the programs that we offer. And I'm really pleased to be able to announce that Ayush is the winner for this year's Dean's Award for service to the program. And I will be sure that his certificate gets passed on to him. But maybe we can give him a round of applause in his absence.
And it's, again, my pleasure to talk about another student that's had a really dramatic impact on our program at a time where we're finding our feet again, as some of my colleagues said, after this 3-year pandemic. And the other winner this year is to a student who has volunteered her time in service to this program through active, and I mean active involvement in student organizations, building community among the students themselves and with faculty and the program in ways that go, I think, well beyond this year. And that is Brianna Kilmer. And I have a little more bragging because you have your lovely family here. And in particular, I want to talk about her work in reviving our student organization, Civitas. Particularly this year, we would not have been able to go up to Canada and enjoy a lot of interesting projects and people that we learned about in a different context without her work. And that, the good news is you're a junior. And that energy can go into next year. And so thank you so much, Brianna. And your children ought to be very proud of you. Yes,
Up next, we have Dr. Thatcher and Dr. Shafarova giving the award, the Dean's Award for Outstanding Research or Project.
Okay, so this award is given to a student who produced an excellent academic research paper or project or a presentation in a given class or program. And so I'm going to present it to Evan Monk. He is in the MSGT, the Geospatial Technologies Masters. And the thing is, the Masters of Science in Geospatial Technologies isn't an easy degree. It's a single-year curriculum that requires students to rapidly design, develop, implement, and complete a graduate-level research project. So this year, Evan's project really demonstrated his excellence at this task. Like many of the best projects, it started with a simple idea. How accessible are Washington's public lands? From there, he dove into topics as varied as isochronic mapping to equity questions around road access. Isochronic mapping is how long does it take to actually travel somewhere? Can we bend and fold and reshape space to reflect that? It's hard, it's computationally intensive, and it's difficult to visualize. It's a thoughtful and well-designed, well-executed project that actually hasn't been completed, and I look forward to seeing it completed this summer. But what really makes Evan stand out is his willingness to help bring his peers along for the journey. So I think it was just last week, other students were struggling to find code libraries to produce isochrones. Evan immediately perked up and offered his own experience. He was like, here's the ones I've tried, here's the ones that worked, here's the ones that didn't work. You know, it's that sort of engagement that's both deep and open that makes his work special. And it's why I'm honored to hand him this award, because he actually is here, so I get to do so. You have to stand up now.
Okay, and I have the pleasure of presenting the next award to Raisa Baker. Raisa is a dedicated urban design student in the first urban design studio right now, and she's been excelling consistently in all the urban design classes that I've had her in. She has a sharp eye for detail. She reads assignment briefs really well, and she's very thoughtful and critical about all the assignments and kind of goes beyond and asks questions and clarifying questions in advance that I might not even have thought of. And then no matter what the project asks, she is always the first one to show up with progress consistently, which is a tough thing to do, to be the first one in the urban design studio to pin up your work and present it and be critiqued. She's also the first one to go beyond the project brief, which is surprising in the design studio, but she always takes a step further. And she's always the first one to resolve these problems. So all in all, she's a trailblazer among your peers in the studio in the urban design degree. And it is absolutely amazing to have you in the classroom to model what's possible. So come up here and get your certificate. And up next, we've got the Catalyst Award for Academic Promise, presented by Dr. Modares, myself again, and Dr. Woodard.
All right, well, this award is given to recognize students for their level of effort and commitment to academic achievements and for further promoting education. I have the honor of presenting the first award, and I have to tell you, one of the things that I enjoyed about this one is reading what faculty write about a student, and I want to emphasize a number of points. So first and foremost, the first recipient is my honor to introduce him, Mohammed Yusuf, and he's an urban design major, and this is what a faculty member said about him, so I will capture that to the best that I can in summary. Captivated our class with his deliberate contributions and generous nature. I've heard so much about the way Mohammed sort of works with students in the class and interacts with everyone. His thoughtful designs and proposals for urban projects showcase his unparalleled creativity and attention to detail, his unwavering dedication to equitable urban design, and collaborative spirit make him a great student. Please join me in congratulating Mohammed Yusuf for this award.
Right, next I've got the pleasure of presenting the Catalyst Award for Academic Promise to Sabian Adderley, who is not in the room, but I'll make sure that he gets the certificate. So Sabian is an undergraduate student in the urban design degree as well in the first year. And he's one of those students who intuitively asks questions that go beyond the brief of an assignment that the instructor sometimes didn't even think of. So he kind of puts a finger on the big questions. He's also hardworking and ambitious, and he's quite young. And a couple of weeks into the program, or maybe it was a month, I was pretty surprised to receive a request for a letter of recommendation to get an internship with the city within literally a few hours of starting at the UWT. So I think his thoughtfulness and that curiosity to ask big questions and kind of question the professor a little bit are a great promise for a stellar academic future. So join me in applauding Sabian, even though he's not here.
All right. And Dr. D again. And I have the honor and the privilege of giving this award to Danielle Hickman. Danielle is a first-year graduate student in the MACP program. And as you know, if you're a family member of the MACP program, you've probably heard them muttering my name under their breath in those first 2 quarters. But with Danielle, I found that she moves with dedication, she moves with purpose, and that shows up in her work. I remember reading her first paper and flipping it back over and going, okay, Ms. Hickman, I see you. And that hasn't stopped in the 20 weeks of work that we did together, that drive, that passion, that centering of your lived experience to make everyone's life better came throughout all of those 20 weeks. Outside of class, we've had really great conversations on the work that you do at the Women's Center, your desire to do research and around human rights, and knowing that you can go ahead and achieve that. I have full belief in your academic excellence, and I am glad to be a part of it. And I'll give it back to Dean Madaris.
It's just like a whack-a-mole. I just keep coming back. Well, that concludes the award portion, but I want to take this moment to ask you to join me in celebrating and round of applause for all the awardees. And that's what I started by saying, that you inspire us and teach us, and we become better educators as we work with generation of students. Now you see what the reasons are. We learned a lot about the awardees, and I'm sure for the to-be urban studies majors who are only a few years old now, but we are hoping to recruit them into the school. So this is generations that have to be built. We need to begin to think about this as a multi-generational, multi-year activity. We will continue doing this, and we always appreciate everyone attending and celebrating the awardees with us and reminding us of the importance. Now, before I go through the last part of this event, there are 3 people in this room who did not have a role in the presenting part, which I need to introduce. I would like to introduce you to them. One is one of our teaching professors, Mr. Greg Lund, if you could stand up. Thank you for being here. For those of you who are in the GIS, or have taken GIS classes, you know Greg really well. No school functions well without staff. Staff are amazing in what they do, and they actually help us do our work so much more than we help them. And so in many ways, I'm thankful not only for the day-to-day, but also for events like this. They put a lot of hours and a lot of support for us. I want to recognize the 2 people who are here, and I promised that the last name I would not pronounce in a French manner, so I'll start with our school advisor, Julie Lancour. I have the tendency to pronounce that Lancour, but I will not do that. Thank you for all you do. And the person who everything that you see that's here, food, arrangements, everything, is Danielle Natividad, who has done a marvelous job since joining us. We thank you for all the work that you do. Now, we get to celebrate a few other people, but I will have to go into categories. I would like to invite our Master of Arts in Community Planning graduates who are here. Please stand if you're here. Anybody graduating from MA? Oh, that's right. How about the summer, during summer MS students are graduating? Could I get you to stand up? Congratulations. Please, thank you. I was hoping one of the MA students would have come. No, I'm just kidding. We don't want them to skip class. I would like to invite our Bachelor of Arts in Sustainable Urban Development. If there are any graduates of that degree, are you here? No one. Okay, we'll celebrate that at the commencement. And also now, Bachelor of Arts in Urban Studies. Any graduates of that degree? No. Urban Design. Any graduates of Urban Design here? There is Kristen. Fantastic. Well, congratulations. Thank you for being here, for family and children and friends, for everybody for being here. We thank you for your time. And now there is food over there. So do not leave until you have had the chance to eat and talk to everybody. We don't want that food to sit there without you. And use the opportunity to get to interact with each other more, because I think after COVID, we need more FaceTime. So thanks again for being here. Pleasure to be a part of this ceremony. And thank you again for all you do, all of you. Thanks very much.